And the college football rankings seem to dominate the headlines from last night. So Alabama's back in, Miami is out, and you have some buys here with Boise State. You have Oregon, SMU, and Texas, and that's subject to change. All right, Seton, poll question for the first hour is going to be what?
Well, I think we start with the college football playoff. The TO Dubs sent in a couple that are fun. Alabama will ultimately make the 12-team playoff because ... they deserve to be in, or they're Alabama.
Okay. I would say it has a little bit more to do with their Alabama. The brand is going to get you in. And there was a whole lot of word salad going on last night with who's my guy who was running the playoff committee, Ward Emanuel. So he was talking about these conference championship games coming up this weekend. He was on with Reese Davis. And this is what's happened. College football had conference championship games because it was a cash grab. Now you don't have to have that. You have a 12-team playoff, not a 4-team playoff. When the 4-team playoff, not everybody was sharing in all the monies. And now you have teams that can go to a conference championship and the teams and the conferences benefit. Well, they don't want to screw up what happens with the 12-team playoff by having one of their teams lose in a conference championship game. So it feels like they're slowly trying to diminish or get rid of conference championship games. So here is Ward Manuel, the College Football Selection Committee chair.
Any team that is not playing right now, we don't have a data point to rearrange where we have those teams ranked. And so that is set in terms of how we see them going into the final week of championship week. There's nothing that's going to change, Reese, for us to evaluate them any differently than we have now. Those teams who are not playing cannot be adjusted in terms of where they are compared to other teams that are not playing. But the championship teams, we will evaluate that data point to determine if there needs to be any movement based on how the performance of the game goes.
Would you like some ranch dressing with that word salad? Because I have no idea what we're talking about here. I think it's just a polite way of saying, hey, if you're in, we want to keep you in. Just don't get blown out. And if you're out, you got no shot of getting in unless somebody gets blown out. Yes, Seton.
It feels like, and Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like he was saying the teams who are not playing this weekend, they're set. Sorry, not a lot we could do for you. But if you are playing this weekend, maybe we'll see some movement. It was a lot of words to say basically that.
Yeah, Paul.
I think Seton's right. It was he took a long way to get there. And even Reese pushed back, are you saying that this weekend doesn't matter that much? And he kept not saying it didn't matter, but didn't say it mattered very much. For example, if Georgia gets waxed by Texas, I think they can go down. Can they go down to past Ole Miss, which gets Ole Miss in? That's confusing. If SMU loses in any way, I think they're out. And then a team like Miami's back in, I think.
Yeah, I
think.
All I know is I pushed for the 12-team playoff. We got the 12-team playoff. It was going to mean more games, had more meaning late in the season. I got that. The other part of that, I can't be responsible for. The grown-ups are supposed to take care of that. Miami's upset. You know what, Miami? You got upset. That's why you shouldn't be upset. You lost 2 of 3. Once again, you can handle your future. I would say control your own destiny, but you can't do that. But you could win. If you beat Syracuse, then we're not in this position. You lost to Syracuse, okay? You lost to Georgia Tech, okay? Yeah, Paul.
But Miami fans, if I'm going to be pro-Miami for a minute here, just play that role. Miami lost to a Syracuse team that had 8 wins going in. They were an above-average team, right? Alabama got murdered, not literally, by Oklahoma, an average team this year. It wasn't even close. Alabama's resume in November is getting waxed against Oklahoma, beating Mercer, which does not count, and a decent win over Auburn. They didn't help themselves in November. They hurt themselves.
Yeah. Alabama's a brand. The U used to be a brand.
Correct.
Not anymore. And you lose to Syracuse. Win the game. Yes, Syracuse is good. Win the game. I mean, Ole Miss loses to Florida. Florida, of course, started to play a whole lot better. I mean, South Carolina might be playing as good as anybody right now. It's not fair. I know that. But it's not meant to be fair. It's about entertainment. It's getting brands in there, unfortunately. But I like that you have Boise State in there, Arizona State's in there, SMU's in there. It's a lot of fun. But if I look at these conferences, SMU wasn't in the ACC last year. Arizona State wasn't in the Big 12 last year. Oregon wasn't in the Big 10 last year. Texas, we're seeing these teams that just came into conferences winning these conferences. And I know you start to look at resumes, and we're eventually going to get to the pro model. It might be the Premier League model. I'd love to have relegation, or it might be the NFL model. We're eventually going to get to that. There's so much money to be made. It's just like March Madness. You know, when we had the commissioner, or the NCAA commissioner on, Charlie Baker on, he was talking about, hey, maybe we add 4 more teams, 6 more teams. Okay, didn't make headlines. You go to 96, now all of a sudden you're going to get people going, wait a minute, it's going to be watered down. Yes, it is. You might say it's already watered down. But college football went from 2 teams to 4 teams to 12 teams, and I'm already told that we're probably going to 14 teams as early as next year. That's how quickly this is happening.
Wait, aren't there contracts in place to make that
They're written in pencil.
They can't do that, first of all, okay? There's contracts put in place, so that will never happen. This is the problem when college football people are darn,
That's still a sore subject with me, Seton. These insiders came after me. There's contracts. There's the pageantry of the bowl games. And I go, dude, you got a lottery ticket right in front of you. You're holding a lottery ticket. They're going to change college football. What about the pageantry? What about the bowl games?
Well, wait a minute. There's contracts.
Yeah, I know.
What about the contracts?
Yeah. You had people who were covering these meetings and missed this story. I'm not even in there, and I was told by an impeccable source on this what they were going to do with the college playoffs, and it proved to be true. And now they're going to go to 14 just because of the math. There's so much money being made here, and you're discussing college football. This is what they want, just so you know. They love that you're discussing college football. There's controversy. People are upset. It's not fair. They want you to talk about their sport. When there were 2 teams playing, maybe you complained about the 3rd team, 4th team didn't make it. The 4-team playoff, maybe it was the 5th team or 6th team. Now you have 12, and now you're talking about maybe 18 schools that can discuss where they should be. Should they get a bye? Should they be in? Why aren't they in? Now we're going to go to 14, and then we're going to go, who knows after that. It's just going to happen. It's trying to stay, in mainstream media, that you discuss this. Like the Heisman race is over. There's no race whatsoever. You want to talk about what's going to happen in college football. Alabama's going to go to Notre Dame right now. Bingo. 2 brands. Can't go wrong with that. You're going to have some weird matchups, but it's going to be great. This is what college football wants. They want you to talk. I mean, March Madness, what are you talking about? The 69th team is going to complain. You're like, so what? Who cares? This, you care. More teams, more schools, more opinions, more conversation, more dialogue. That's what you want. Everybody's dwarfed by the NFL. Baseball has this golden at bat that just came out. Baseball just wants to be talked about. Juan Soto, $600 million. Everybody's fighting for airspace here. That's it. It's what you want. You don't want to get left behind. And college football has done a great job kind of reinventing itself. And it's just getting started. This is going to expand. It's going to go in directions where you go, wait a minute here. What are we doing? In 5 years from now, we're going to look back and go, dang, college football moved at a rapid, not a glacier pace. This is moving fast. And that's what's happening because of the money that's involved. Look at the NFL. Oh, player safety. How about an 18th game? Sure. Oh, we'll have one game in London. Okay, maybe 2 games. How about one in Germany? How about one in Dublin? How about one in Rio? It's all moving fast. Everything's moving fast. WNBA, let's expand. More teams. Everybody wants to have a team now. Caitlin Clark is to the WNBA what Gretzky was to the NHL. He expanded hockey. Southern part of the United States. Who would have thought? It's because Gretzky. Caitlin Clark, everybody wants a franchise now. This is what sports is doing. This is happening right in front of us. Now you can say, is this the golden age? Well, that's open to your interpretation. But this is where we're going. It's about money. It's always been about money.